In order to eliminate the effects that are generated due to the electrochemical reaction occurring at two different electrodes, resulting buildup of the two products at different electrodes, and the change in the concentration of the electrolyte solution. So we need to build another cell. So cell is shown here. This kind of cell is known as Wheatstone bridge cell, and which have four resistances, and one of the resistance is replaced by the conductivity cell, which is placed in one arm of this Wheatstone bridge. In the conductivity cell, an electrolyte solution of known concentration is added, or we can have a small cell which can be dipped in any electrolyte solution and can be washed and reused again and again. For this kind of cell, the resistances, that is R3, is variable resistance. It is adjusted in such a way that the resistance setup make the point C and D having no current, means no current flows through these 2 points. At this condition, the resistance of the electrolyte solution can be measured using equation given here. Once a resistance is known, the conductivity can be calculated from the equation 2 and equation 3, where A is the area of separation between the electrodes and L is the length of the separation. Here we can fix the area and length of the cell, so we can call it the cell constant, which is written as length over area. So the equation 3 combining the two will be modified as 4. So the cell constant can be measured indirectly by using KCl solution of non-concentration, which is considered as the standard solution, and the conductivity of this solution at various concentrations and temperature are given in literature. So we can take the non concentration of potassium chloride solution, and we can measure the resistance directly from the cell given here, and then we can calculate the cell constant using KCl solution. This is known as the cell calibration. So after this calibration, we will have the value of cell constant. So for unknown solution, we need to take the solution with the non-concentration, and we can measure the resistance of the solution, and then the conductivity of the solution can be calculated using equation 4. One thing is needed to mention here, that the conductivity work should be performed in extremely pure solvent condition, because any impurity with extremely dilute condition can contribute to the conductivity, and which can affect the overall measurement of our system. Sometimes it's difficult to take high quality solvents, so we can measure the conductivity of the solvents separately, which is used for the preparation of the solution. So the measured conductivity of the solution will be subtracted with that of the solvent conductivity, so we can get the real conductivity of the solution. So the equation 4 is applicable for the measurement of conductivity of electrolyte solutions, and we can see that the concentration term is not given here, which is showing that the conductivity term or the conductivity measured using this equation will vary with variation of the concentration. For example, the conductivity of the zero point 0.1 molar any solution like copper sulfate will be higher as compared to 0.01 molar of that same solution. Since the number of charge carriers per unit volume increase with increasing electrolyte concentration, that is actually the solute concentration. So the solution's conductivity usually increase as the electrolyte concentration increases. As we can assume that the three particles can conduct less charge as compared to the higher number of solute particles. So the number of charge carriers per unit volume usually increase with increasing the electrolyte concentration, and thus the conductivity increases. So in order to get a measure of current carrying ability of a given amount of electrolyte, one defines the molar conductivity. Molar conductivity is abbreviated as capital lambda m, that is equal to the conductivity of the solution per unit concentration. Here C is actually the stoichiometric molar concentration, as the molar conductivity depends on the number of active species, also known as electroactive species. This equation of molar conductivity is applicable for the dilute solution up to a concentration when there is no ion pairing. Then this stoichiometric concentration will be directly proportional to the actual concentration of the electrolyte. So this quantity which have been divided with the concentration is giving the quantity which is actually the independent of concentration in case of the absence of ion-ion pairing, because when ions are separately solvated and they are acting as unit charges, so the concentration of the solution is equal to the stoichiometric concentration of the electrolyte. But usually interaction between the ions affect the conductivity, and those interaction changes with concentration. For example, the ion pairing, the species are not fully dissociated, and they have no contribution to the conduction of the electricity. So the undissociated species act as non-electroactive and thus do not participate in the conduction of charges. So the current carrying ability of this kind of electrolyte depend on the only electroactive or ionized species. So the molar conductivity of these kind of solution vary with variation of concentration. Electrical conductivity of the solution, that is the molar conductivity, depends on the solvent as well as electrolyte and temperature.